those stick on both sides of the vehicle. Pretty common on German vehicles and half-tracks. I don't know what they're exactly called. I think they're for the safety reason, for measuring, for allow the vehicle to pass through. If you break any of them during assembly, painting, picking it up, putting it down, putting other stuff down when you, or your cat jumping around on a table, and anyway, if they breaking, in which I do it all the time, both of them are being fixed multiple times, give me a like on the video. So second video of the project. This video contains actually two parts. First part is I do a review of the vehicles models, the tank, the two half-track, and the bike you saw at the introduction video of the project. I'll do the first part of the review of each of those vehicles. Second part is we'll talk about primer. So the first step after assembly is how we prime. So we do a primer. Don't be surprised you see this track is the tank, the Panzer IV is actually complete in this first part of the video. The second part, when you see the primer, is actually still in the priming stage. The second part actually shooted, the video shooted was before the was shot before the second part. So don't be surprised to see that the kind of a going backwards, the tank become a primed again. So here is the Panzer IV with the crew, and all painted, whitewashed, and all the decals on there. I think they're probably about 90, I'll say 95% done. There may be some small details I like to just light touch up, maybe add some more weathering or the dirt on the tracks and stuff like that later on when I do the dioramas. Depends on what kind of a ground is it. So other than that's pretty much done. So this is coming from the back up a little bit. Academy. So Panzer IV Academy, 35 scale, and this is a Panzer IV with armor. The whole the model comes with armors with on the side, but I didn't use them, as you can see it. So first of all, let's talk about the instructions of the models from Academy. I think it's either a Korean company or maybe made for the Korean market, because after English is directly Korean. So I guess it's something like that. The instructions are there are many, 4 pages on both sides. They're actually very detailed and numbered, and they are very clear. So I have no problem following the instruction down. Just on the last part of the painting and the decals, they're actually not much of a lack of colors, I guess. So it's hard to make a real comparison, but you know that can be easily accomplished by just doing some Google research. You get nice pictures on the internet. So the instructions are very good, but on the model itself, there's some, after the tank, there's some leftover sprues here. Because I didn't do the armor, so, oh, excuse me, touching the camera here. There's still armors here. So the most part is pretty good, but I will say I had better ones, and some of the stuff you expect them, like when you're doing modeling, you expect them to line up perfectly. You shouldn't be like much of a I guess adjustments is the words I use to put them up. First of all, you know, the wheels. This is two pieces of wheels. You put them together, and you glue them in the middle. Sometimes the middle doesn't click. It doesn't line up perfectly. So it's one side is higher than the other because it doesn't actually line in to click them together. So you have to go in and use your hobby knife to shave down a little bit. So that's what I found out on the wheel to start with. And the second one, the biggest one, is actually the this window or door, whatever the hatch you're calling it. You can't see it now because it's all, you know, put it together, glued, and inside I used the putty to putty it up. But actually those two doors, when they close down, they barely fit the opening over here. There's actually four parts. One, the hinges on both sides, and the two doors. So 1, 2, 3, 4 parts fit in this hole. And you put in the hinges on both ends, and you put a door in. It barely lines up. It barely holds close the whole door. So when you put it on, it actually lights. The light shines through it if you can see it. So it's all on all four sides. They all have lights coming through. So I have to go inside, use the putty to putty from inside, so to block the light, so you can actually see it. So it doesn't line up perfectly. So that's one. That's the second problem. The third one, same thing. You can't actually see it anymore. Same thing. I puttied it and kind of did a little bit. So there's another. There's the top armor. There's a line right here. So this is the back armor on this side. The top armor is on this side. So it's supposed to be sit in, but once you put it in, there's actually a big gap in the middle. So I have to go in to use a putty from underneath to seal that gap. Otherwise, you can see you can see the lights from inside. So it's not very, it doesn't line up perfectly. So the instructions are good, easy to follow. You can see where they draw the instructions are good. You can put in the stuff perfectly. But the sprues, I have to say, the qualities are not the top of the line. And I'll give probably out of 10, I'll give maybe, if Tamiya's, I'll say 9.5, I'll give this about a 5. Most of the stuff lined up, but you know, you expect them to all line up pretty good. But if you do any adjustment, I see that's kind of a failure when manufacturer putting the stuff out of it and let a customer to modify their stuff. That's not, I don't know, just my personal opinion. That's not really good products in my opinion. So that's the tank. I'll finish paint it all in here. And the second part, I have two German half-tracks. So this is Tamiya number. Oh, I can tell from here. But anyway, it's 35 scale German half-track Sdkfz 251-1 with combat cruise. I didn't use the cruise. The part's still in there. So I kind of finished both of them. There's one in the left-hand corner there too. You can see it. So both of them are finished. And as expected, to me, I have probably built about, I don't know, I lost count how many models I built, and the instructions are excellent, and the fit are excellent. I never have to modify any of this stuff. There may be some molding lines you have to take it off, use your hobby knife, but that's just kind of standard for all of them. But other than that, they line up pretty good. So one of actually the good thing is, and both the back doors can be open like the real thing, and you can close them and they line up pretty good. And also the front wheels, they can be adjusted too. So those two things they actually didn't tell you in the instructions, you can all the connection points are just glue them down. But if you read it carefully and you've done it before, you know some of the part you can modify it, so you can actually make them movable if you want to. And if I have to find one thing that's not good for this part is the tracks, the rubber tracks. Excuse me. So the rubber tracks are, they all come with rubber tracks for pretty much all the models in the box. So this one is standard. Put it on because the attention they created when you put it on, the top ones doesn't have the sag. It's actually a straight line from this wheel to the power wheel on the front. It's actually a straight line. It doesn't touch any of the stuff in the middle. So in order you push it, make it realistic, push it down to attach the wheels, I have to super glue them into all the connection point. Because I did that, between the 2 points, the shorter distance is a straight line, so you drag them down to actually create more tension on the tracks. So it's actually break the winding point. It broke a couple times. You stretched too much, it broke a couple times, so I had to come back to weld them back together. But yeah, I find that that's the part that they didn't think about it, or maybe that's how they designed it. So you have to push them down, glue it if you want to use it. Otherwise, they're also aftermarket products you can find to replace the tracks if you like. But other than that, there's nothing I can say about it. A lot of people saying that some of the Tamiya models are not 100% accurate. Even the tanks, like even the doesn't matter if Tamiya tanks. I saw a review on the YouTube that one of the guys talking about all the Tiger tanks from different manufacturers. It says it's no 100% accuracy to the real thing. Like for me, I'm a kind of I don't look for that much of details. Like some, the track should be hollow, and there's a little bit should be there crack on one of those something over there. Like I'm not looking for 100% historical accuracy. I'm trying to make a model that look like, for me, like based on my knowledge, if I look from far, okay, this is a German World War II tank, a Panzer IV, and that's a Tiger tank. That's as much as my military knowledge goes. I don't exactly know which model and what exactly it looked like on the tracks and things like that. So if you're looking for that kind of details, maybe try to shop around for stuff like that. For me, this is all the stuff is good enough for this project. And the last one is the Masterbox motorcycles. So I got 2 motorcycle crew models from Alpine, so I tried to find a motorcycle. So this is the one I can easily find. I'm in Canada, so it's not really I guess access to a lot of products not that easy as the U.S. or some bigger city. I'm not even living in a big city in Canada, so this is I can find easily on the website. So I purchased it, and the motorcycle is a Masterbox. So I'm in the process of putting it together, and if I can grab the instruction here. Here's the sprue, halfway there. I'm still putting them together. And here's the instructions. I put a couple of motorcycles together already. I think they're all Tamiyas, but not 35 scale. I think they're 48 scale, smaller. Like always, Tamiya's things are good on the instruction side, on the quality side. This one I find really, really hard to put them together, really awkward when you actually read the instructions at the same time. First of all, on your sprues, all the stuff they say give you numbers. Let's say 45, this is 24, 49. On the sprue itself, there's actually no numbers. There's no number tags beside any of them. So when you try to look for a 24, you have to flip back to the instruction on this page and find 24, and then go on the sprue to find the 24. So it's like, I don't know, it's just kind of an awkward way of doing it. It's not that complicated to put a number on the sprues, but I don't know why they don't do it. And second of all, the angle and the stuff they're doing. First of all, there are a lot of many similar parts that have different numbers. Let's say the 38 and the 37. But the angle they're showing, you can't tell exactly which one put on where. You can put on both sides, either side. And this is probably a better example. The number 31, it says here. It doesn't tell you where to drop on the whole thing. It just shows the next steps is right here. But there's actually two. There's like a step 1, 2, 3 on the actual model. There's a curve 1, curve 2, curve 3. It didn't tell you which one to drop. So you have to somehow look through all those pictures and even the finished picture, try to figure out where exactly that piece goes. It didn't tell you where to put them, and a lot of stuff is like the angles and stuff is quite hard to try to figure out because the angle of the pictures and things like that. So I'm still in the process. I think I'm at number 7 now, right here. But it's take way longer than even building a tank. So that's my opinion. Like the instruction, the sprues are okay. There are a couple broken pieces because they're shipped by Canada Post. Take a long time in the mail, so I don't blame the manufacturer for that. But on the manual side, I have to say you guys should do some more work. I gave it like maybe 4 out of 10. This is really not making this project any easier. So yeah, so that's a review on the on the models. So yeah, I'll show you how the priming goes on the colors. So we're talking about a base coating for the vehicles we're going to use. You can see the two vehicles in the frame. Here's the Panzer IV. I did for the Battle of Kharkov, the project we got, and it's just base coated. So the base coating on this, and it's similar to the Halftrack here, same base coat. So just want to talk a little bit about base coating. So the two vehicles here, the tank was designed for, actually at the beginning, was for the North Africa project. So I base coated black and white kind of thing. First primed it, I primed the Vallejo just surface primer, use a black, and then highlighted with gray, surface primer gray. So the tank was black, and the highlight part is a gray color. But later on, it's like we're gonna start the winter, the Kharkov project first. So I resurface primed it with the same Vallejo surface primer, but this is a German Panzer gray. So you can see the colors right here. And the Halftrack here was just for the Kharkov project. It directly primed the German Panzer gray. So from the look of it, you can't really tell the difference. They look about the same color. And actually, the German Panzer gray, for me, it looks almost black, a light shaded of black. I can't tell it's a gray or something like that. Most of the time you see the videos or you see the history channel of the German Panzers, they're almost like a navy. They have a blue tints in it. This doesn't show it. It just mostly gray. I'll say just black if you can't tell the difference. And for the figures, put them on here. They just primed too, so they use the technique same as the Panzer IV, the tanks. So they're using black first, and then highlighted with gray. So they kind of showing up all the details, and they're ready for the base coat. Or I kind of already base coat the helmet, but yeah, they're ready for a base coat. So all the figures or all the models are the the solder models are base coat like that, primed like that, not base coat, sorry, and they're all ready to go.